Hey everyone, it's Katie with Quick Scope presented by Scuff right here on the Mutineers YouTube channel. Make sure to stick around because we have special guest Tom Ryan, aka Ogre 2, joining us in just a little bit. Now, it's been a super week, 7 days of Call of Duty, and a lot has happened. So let's go over some of those top points. Atlanta FaZe are undefeated, yet to drop a series out of the 12 teams in the league. TJ on Thieves had a perfect S&D map, 12 kills and no deaths.
TJ tacks on another gunless last alive, and it's perfection.
Loony on Seattle, unfortunately, with an incredible triple onto his own teammates on Control. Asim from New York Subliners got his revenge on the team that dropped him before.
He's been in and out, hasn't he, over the past couple of years. He's found himself now on his Subliners team and showing what he can do.
And Methods, the first 1v4 defuse that we have seen as well. A couple firsts happening in the league this week. Now, there are a few of these points that we just went over that I really want to hone in on. That first one being TJ Halley and his perfect S&D round. To paint the scene for you, we made it all the way to map 5 in the LA Thieves versus Seattle Surge series. And TJ turned into a dragon.
But it's TJ getting both as they slide across. Octane left up, and TJ the third.
12-0. He never died. He had 5 first bloods on top of that. An incredible feat to be able to be that entry, get those kills, and never die. And a perfect 6-0 round count for Thieves to close out that series.
Is it another first blood? Why not? TJ again with the first blood. I believe that's now 3 rounds in a row.
Truly one of the best search performances we have seen this year. On the downside, we have to talk about Seattle Surge's Loony, who had a triple kill against his own teammates in that very same series.
That's not good.
It was in a Control round where they essentially lost full momentum right off the rip. That triple coming about 10 seconds into that round for his team, and that's what sealed their fate in that Control map, losing it to LA Thieves.
They haven't quite flipped the spawns as Asim finds not 2 but 3 in the hill. Fantastic stuff by Asim. He keeps it alive for his team all on his own.
Also, New York Subliners Asim, one of the most incredible overall performances that we have seen against his old team, Minnesota Rocker. In the first 2 maps, he had a 5.17 KD. Yes, a 5.17 KD, one of the best performances by far.
See, if you're a Minnesota fan, I mean, Bryce is 14-2.
Asim showing his old team why they should not have dropped them, and New York reminding Minnesota why they should not have to. Now, I'm super excited to introduce our special guest, Tom Ryan, aka Ogre 2, the GM of Florida Mutineers, to talk about what he's seen in the league so far and how he thinks the team is doing. Tom, how's it going?
Hi Katie, thanks for having me on the show. I had high expectations for this team coming into the season, especially after adding Neptune to the roster a few weeks out from the start of the season. We were looking great in scrims, still are. Yeah, the team just kind of flopped on the opener against Toronto. I think I'm still really confident in our roster going forward. Very excited to see how we do in the first tournament coming up, the Stage 1 Major next weekend. But really looking to turn things around here at the Major. I think another big point here is a lot of talent in the league. 12 teams, same as last year, but they dropped it down to 4 versus 4. So it's, I feel like it tightened the competition a lot. Right now, I think the biggest surprise for me has been Subliners. Just as a whole, yeah, I don't think anyone expected them to do as well as they're doing without Hydra coming in right off the bat. Asim has stepped up big time. You know, last year, honestly, I feel like I even underrated him a little bit. Didn't know he had this in him, but he's been playing. He's probably been their best player so far, playing out of his mind. You know, huge props to him. But Clay's always consistent. Can't count out Clayster. He's got the passion. Mr. Consistent, knows how to get his teams fired up, and they're performing, man. Diamond Con coming in, rookie, playing very well. So yeah, subliner is definitely my biggest surprise. I would say the other big surprise to me is honestly our team being 1-4 right now. So again, hopefully we can turn it around. Long season ahead of us. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
All right, there's a couple folks that I would like to talk about for MVPs for this week. Two of them we've already gone over in detail, and I think it's no surprise that they're on this list. Those being TJ Halley with that S&D performance we won't see bested anytime soon, and Asim on New York for putting up that incredible 5.17 KD and for looking incredible this year overall. I'd also like to give a special mention to Clayster, a pro who's been around the scene for a very long time and someone who's gone back-to-back in champs in the last 2 years. He is proving that age does not matter when it comes to your ability, so far looking like an absolute rock star, especially from the performances that we saw out of him this week. And I know that I'm certainly excited to see how Clay performs through the rest of the year. But let's take a look at social media, because while there were crazy things happening in the series we saw this week, there was some crazy things happening on Twitter too. Kick things off, Scump, his team, Optic Chicago, not necessarily known for their S&D, and I think he got sick of fans pointing that out. Take a look at what he had to say. Basically, guys, shut up, we've got it. Give us some time to figure things out. Now we need to talk about the slap fight that happened on Twitter Saturday. A bunch of pros getting into the mix over snaking. It's been GA'd in the Call of Duty League, but there's some players who don't care. Abizi on Atlanta FaZe coming out in defense of his teammate Celium. And there were some other pros who were none too happy about his argument. The likes of Octane, Slasher, even Formal getting into the mix with their opinions. Some of them had snark, some of them had a little bit of sass, but others brought in valid points for and against. Let's look ahead now to the major that's right around the corner, and some of the teams I think are set up to win and maybe a dark horse. Now Dallas, of course you have to mention them first because they were the champions from the first Call of Duty League season and they are continuing to look dominant. But when I look at this team, I look at Illy particularly. He's been struggling in that slaying department as of late, and I think if they can work out those issues with him to support the rest of the team in respawns, Dallas will be an extremely challenging team to take down. You also have to look at Thieves. How will they be tested in this major? Can they stand up to the likes of an Optic Chicago, who 3-0'd them in show matches at the start of the year? And then you also have Optic. Work on that search and destroy, give Scump that time he was asking for, and I think Optic will continue to cement itself as one of the top teams in the league. Certainly one of the teams to be beat. And if there's any team I think has the potential to cause upsets for someone like a Dallas, an Optic, or an Atlanta, that is Minnesota Rocker. My dark horse going into this major. They've already proven that they have the ability to take down Dallas Empire, and I think if they can work on their respawns, tighten up their control, they are certainly a team capable of maybe even taking the major in its entirety, but certainly beating some of those top teams. Before I sign off, I want to talk to the viewers about Search and Destroy, the game mode that wins championships. This year, no smokes and no snipers. Now, if you're brand new to the league, most years there are snipers and smokes utilized in Search and Destroy, but this year they are not currently in the league. So how has that changed your viewing experience for this game mode? One of the slowest paced game modes, one of the most methodical. Do you wish we had those high octane sniper moments back? Thinking right off the top of my head, someone like Cammy from the Modern Warfare season putting up incredible shots, Dashy as well as Simp and so on. Take a map like Miami, take a map like Raid. How would those maps change their gameplay with smokes added, with the presence of those snipers? We would love to hear from you on how it has been, so please leave those comments down below. I want to thank you all for joining us today. Quick Scope, presented by Scuff on the Mutineers YouTube channel. And as always, please, please, please make sure you subscribe. We will see you next time for Quick Scope.